All right, guys, let's start off with the exciting news that Vince, you've seen him on my channel quite a few times, just got his first ATP ranking point. Massive news. Huge congratulations to him. We can officially call him a pro tennis player.
We'll have to get Rachel. Oh my God.
So today I want to share with you a tactic that me and Vince worked on and he was able to execute in the biggest match of his life. And it's based around being solid with the backhand and really looking to control points with his forehand, his strongest shot. Now Vince has one of the biggest forehands I've ever seen, an absolutely fantastic shot. But for most of us, we'll be in a similar situation where our forehand is better than our backhand, and we need to be able to control points with our strongest shot and use the backhand to set up the forehand. Before we get to the forehand, it's very important that your backhand is solid. You don't have to hit many winners with it. You don't have to be that creative, but you do need to be able to hit a backhand cross court. Groove that shot. Just make sure that you are pretty solid hitting backhands cross court, because if a right-handed player is playing another right-handed player and you aren't able to hang in there with that backhand to backhand cross court rally, it's very difficult to win. But as soon as you can get a couple of backhands cross court, or even one, to be honest, a good solid backhand cross court, then what you can do is you can pinch a little bit of the court, stand way left of the center, and look to get your forehand involved. So the better you can hit that backhand cross court, if you can get it deep, if you can get it a little bit wide, the more you can steal the court. Right? If the shot's not great and they're stepping into it, you're not going to be able to stand as far over to the left. But as soon as that shot is deep in the corner, you're going to stand all the way over here and dare your opponent to go up the line. They'll miss that shot a lot. And what will usually happen is they'll just give you a forehand for you to hit either cross court or go back behind them. If they want to get it on your backhand, they got to really be accurate with that shot. And usually the backhand's not too difficult because you stood right behind it. What's usually going to happen is they're going to try and go cross court and you're going to get a forehand from here. Now, if I'm hitting a forehand from here, I don't really have a huge preference in whether I go up the line, inside in, or inside out. Whereas most people, when they're hitting a backhand from here, you will much prefer to go cross court than up the line. The up the line backhand's quite tricky. So as soon as you can get into this position, your opponent no longer knows where you're going to take that shot, and they have to respect the big, powerful shot up the line, inside in, which gives you more space to, again, pound it onto their backhand. So you give them a backhand, you slide over here, you get another forehand. They have to respect the up-the-line shot. You go inside, out, and basically you're controlling the point with your forehand against their backhand. And if they want to do something with that backhand, they have to take a lot of risk. And the more pressure the situation, the more difficult it is to execute. Now, obviously, if you're playing a lefty, things change, and I'll have to make a different video on that. Let me know if that's something you're interested in me covering. But right-handed player against a right-handed player, try to execute this strategy, even if their backhand is pretty good. Now, obviously, if the backhand's good, you're going to play a few more balls to the forehand, especially when you get this kind of situation. But by pinning them into that corner, even if their backhand's solid, which, by the way, Vince's opponent had a fantastic backhand, but by pinning them in that corner and working the angles, Vince was still able to get his favorite shot. So if your favorite shot is a forehand, use this strategy, even if you think your opponent has a pretty solid backhand. Maybe their backhand's a little bit more solid than their forehand. You still want to use this strategy because by pinning them in that corner and moving here, you're still going to get a lot of forehands and you're going to get opportunities to really open up the court. You can also do the same thing on second serves. Someone's hitting a second serve, especially if it's a big point. The bigger the point, the better. You're going to stand all the way over here and you say, hey, if you want to go for a second serve ace up the tee, fill your boots. If you want to try and get it wide on my backhand and try and hit it a couple of feet from the line, go for it. I'll probably get it because I'm all the way over here. Everything else is going to be a forehand. So it puts pressure on your opponent to have to hit a good serve. And most of the time, you're just going to get a forehand. And again, from here, if you go inside out, you're really not out of position because all you really have to do is recover to about here to get to that next shot. And if you go inside out, they want to take that backhand up the line. Difficult shot to execute. And again, when you're in pressure situations, especially if you're playing for your first ATP point, well, the other guy had a few already, but these matches are big. That is not an easy shot when the pressure's on for anyone. So you're putting people in situations where you're trying to bait them to hit the difficult shot. And if they hit the average cross-court backhand, you're going to get your strongest shot and look to really dictate the point with your weapon. So not only was Vince able to play the right shot at the right time and really structure points to work to his strengths, he was also able to execute some of the things we'd worked on. Now, if you've watched my videos with Vince, one thing we were talking about was him jumping into court, landing on his left foot, having this right foot come forward and then push back behind the baseline. He got into a habit of landing forwards a little bit on the left and then coming back onto the right because he was too eager to move back behind the baseline. That was really affecting his serve. So even serving for the match in these pressure situations, he was able to execute the things we'd worked on. So that was fantastic.
We'll have to get Rachel. Oh my God.
Another thing we worked on, and again, you can check out this video, was his elbow position on the serve. It's a little bit low, also gets a little bit in front of his shoulder line. So I want this elbow to be a little bit higher, a little bit further back, and this is still something he needs to work on, and we will continue to work on it. We're also going to work on many other things, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. There'll be more videos with me and Vince. Also, subscribe to his channel and follow what he's doing. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.